All right, dilutions. Dilutions go with molarity molarity and concentration because a dilution is made by adding more solvent to a solution in order to reduce the concentration of the solution. We can use this equation of M1V1 equals M2V2 in order to identify the new concentration or the old concentration or a new volume or an old volume. The M in this equation stands for molarity, and the V stands for volume. This is the same on both sides of our equation. The left side of the equation is our starting point. This is our starting solution. While the right part of the equation is going to be our ending solution. This is going to be significant in that our starting solution is more concentrated, while our ending solution is going to be the more diluted. Let's look at how to use this in action. Remember, our equation is M1V1 equal to M2V2. We want to make a 100 milliliter dilution of a 0.40 molar magnesium sulfate solution. We are trying to identify how many milliliters of the concentrated 2.00 molar magnesium sulfate solution we will use. Remember, the left side is more concentrated, and the right side is more diluted. Looking at our molarities, we know that this will be going on our left side. So let's go ahead and plug that value in for molarity. Next, we will be plugging in this concentrated solution's volume. However, that's the one we don't know. For this one, you can use a variable such as x. I'm just going to continue using V1. Now to set up the other side of our equation. Our second molarity is 0.40. And our volume for that is given to us in milliliters. We are looking for milliliters, so in this equation, we can just leave this as milliliters instead of converting. Now, we just solve for a variable. 0.4 multiplied by 100 will give us 40. Divided by our 2.00 will give us 20 for volume 1. Remember, we had milliliters here, so our 20 is going to be measured as 20 milliliters. And this is our answer. We need 20 milliliters of our concentrated 2.00 molar magnesium sulfate solution in order to make a dilution of 0.4 molar at 100 milliliters. All right, here's another example. Remember, the equation is M1V1 equal to M2V2. We are making a 250 milliliter dilution of a 0.2 molar NaCl solution. We need to know how many milliliters of our concentrated 1.00 molar NaCl solution will be used. Pause the video to work this out. All right, starting with plugging things into our equation. Our more concentrated solution is this 1.00 molar NaCl. So it will be plugged in for our M1. Again, we are looking for how many milliliters we need. So we are looking for our V1. You will not look for V1 each time. Instead, this will change around and you can actually look for any one of the variables in this equation. To plug in our more diluted side, we have our 0.2 molars. And that has a volume of 250. Remember to check that you also want to find milliliters. In this case we do, so we can simply put in 250. If we were looking for liters instead, we would have to convert to liters. Now we need to solve for V1, or X if you used X instead. 0.2 times 250 will give us 50. That 50 is equal to 1 multiplied by V1. We will divide by 1. This step you could actually skip because anything divided by 1 is itself. I wrote it out anyway. And this will give us 50 milliliters of our more concentrated solution. And that's all there is to dilutions. As long as you know how to plug into this equation, you'll be good to go.